Welcome to the regular council meeting of Wednesday, February the 18th of the Elmer Council. Note the absence. Let's have a moment of reflection and respect, and certainly take a moment of silence to reflect upon the horrific tragedy at Tumbler Ridge. Thank you. Confirmation of the agenda.
That council adopts the agenda for the meeting of February 18th, 2026 with the additions of item 7.8, Director of Legislative Services Clerk, Report Clerk 08-26, Elmer Police Service Board Appointment Bylaw Update.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, Councilor Rosier and Deputy Mayor Barber. All those in favor? That's carried. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Item 5, delegations and public meetings. We welcome Kelly Colo, Director of Settlement and Wellness for the YWCA St. Thomas. Kelly, welcome.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council, for having me here again this evening. I'm Kelly Coelho, Director of Settlement and Wellness, and also here tonight with Melissa McDowell, Aquatics Coordinator, and we're looking forward to sharing some highlights from the outdoor pool this past summer and the outcomes that we've achieved together in our shared goals to prevent drowning and to promote health and well-being in our communities. As we know, the outdoor pool in Elmer, it comes alive with energy and excitement each summer. This beloved community asset is a hub of activities and impact, starting a summer job, volunteering, building leadership skills and employability skills, learning how to swim and water safety, being physically active, cooling off, contributing to the community, or connecting with friends and making new ones all happens at the pool. The 2025 summer season saw enhanced program delivery and incredible community engagement. Life-saving Swim for Life swimming lessons were offered during daytime and evening sessions for parents and tots, preschool and school-aged children and youth, in addition to life-saving, lifeguarding, and aquatic leadership training. Recreational swimming was offered 7 days per week, with daytime, evening, and weekend swim times available. With an earlier pool opening, there was also an earlier start to seasonal aquatic service delivery for the public. Not including guardians and spectators of swimming lessons and life-saving training, over 6,600 swimmers joined in activities at the pool over the summer. Overall attendance, I'm not sure why that doesn't show there. Hopefully the next slide will come up, but overall attendance at the recreational swimming has increased and continued to increase over time, with over 5,000 people joining in over the summer season. Over half of the public swim participants and close to 1,000 more swimmers than in 2024 summer season joined in free supervised swimming each Friday and Saturday, and including a bonus swim on Sunday throughout the summer season through the generosity of 13 community organizations, service clubs, and local businesses. I'll just take a moment to list a few of those now. So thank you to Elmer Community Festival and PacFab, HBI, H. Brower Equipment Sales and Service, Luke's Siemens Helder LLP, Miller's Independent, the Elmer Express, Elmer and Area Chamber of Commerce, Springfield Swans, the Elmer and Area Community Foundation, the Optimist Club of Elmer, Graham Scott Enns LLP, the Elmer Legion, and Masco Canada. We can't say it enough. Thank you so very much, sponsors. Your support is truly valued. It makes a difference and continues to be vital in ensuring access to safe, supervised swim settings and local opportunities to have fun, be active, and connect. Through partnerships and with your generosity, children are learning to swim, families are spending time together, and our community is celebrating the joy of water. Your support is felt in every splash, every smile, and every I love swimming moment at the pool. We couldn't do it without you. Please do reach out to the YWCA to learn more about sponsorship opportunities this summer. Although it's been a colder winter, we know that summer and sunshine is going to be here again before we know it. We'd also like to take some time to recognize the incredible team of people that come together over the sunny and not so sunny days at the pool, bringing the energy, enthusiasm, skills, and passion to aquatic service delivery. Alongside the aquatics coordinator and head lifeguard and instructor, throughout the summer, 26 youth engaged in learning and skill development through employment and volunteer roles in their community. Together, they contributed a total of 142 volunteer hours of service to support aquatic delivery this summer through swimming lessons, water safety education, and supervised recreational public swimming. I'll take a moment here to highlight an impact from this summer as shared by a staff member. A family came to the pool almost every week for a swim, with the older sister, about 4 years old, asking me to borrow a life jacket every time she came to the pool. After a few weeks, when I'd see them check in, I would get a life jacket out and be ready to help her put it on as they arrived. One day, she brought me a drawing that she had made and wanted to give me. She told me that it was me giving her a life jacket, and that someday, when she can swim by herself, like me, she will give other people life jackets to help them swim. I keep her drawing as a reminder that small actions make a big difference for every swimmer. And because of the safe swimming opportunities we provide, we can inspire others to share water safety messages too. These kinds of meaningful experiences and collective impacts are realized together in and with our communities because of ongoing contributions and commitment of staff, volunteers, local businesses, community organizations, and government. Municipal partnership and support has been and continues to be critical to ensure aquatic program viability. Ahead of last season, we came to council with the reality of what putting all of the puzzle pieces together looks like amid precarity of changing financial resources. Thank you for your sustained support over the years and increased commitment ahead of this past summer. We are grateful for the collaboration with the Town of Aylmer in modernizing our partnership and in working together over the years ahead to ensure local, quality, and impactful programs and services are possible. Alongside financial support from the Town of Aylmer and local sponsors, the YWCA sought out and secured other sources of funding for aquatic programs this past summer, including through Canada Summer Jobs, which supported youth employment opportunities for lifeguards, and through the Aylmer Area Community Foundation that provided for new pool safety equipment. The YWCA's successful application to the Seniors Community Grant Program also supported expanded aquatic program delivery for older adults, including with costs related to staffing, supplies, and communications. These external sources of funding help to offset program delivery costs and respond to identified community needs. Throughout the year and each summer during National Drowning Prevention Week in particular, in partnership with the Elgin County Drowning Prevention Coalition, we bring attention to the importance of water safety education, swimming lessons, supervised swimming opportunities, and the key role they play in drowning prevention. We remind folks to swim where the lifeguards are and that life jackets are for everyone. We promote learning to swim and share water safety messages through proclamations, flag raisings, community events, and public education and awareness. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of Council, for your support of local aquatic facilities and services alongside your efforts to contribute to community initiatives and activities that prevent fatal and non-fatal drownings. While statistics help us measure success, the real impact at the pool is found in the stories and experiences families share. This past summer, we had a child in Parrington Tot who took their first steps in the wading pool, a milestone memory that will stay with them forever. We also saw the difference that extra time in the water can make. We had a child who was a bit older, but taking their first swim lesson. We were able to provide extra support for a few classes to help them become a bit more comfortable. This child came to sponsored swimming with their family and practiced what they learned in their lessons. Watching them float independently was a reminder that if you can float, you can survive. One of the most rewarding parts of our work is watching children grow not only as swimmers, but as future leaders. Many begin as little ones, learning how to swim and building their confidence in the water. As they get older and stronger, some step into volunteer roles, helping at the pool, gaining experience, and discovering what it is like to be part of a team. From there, we encourage them into leadership pathways, bronze courses, standard first aid, and national lifeguard and swim instructor training. Each step builds their skills and their confidence. And before long, they are the ones teaching, guiding, and mentoring the next generation of swimmers. It is incredible to see our current lifeguards and instructors, many of whom once started here as participants themselves, become role models for the younger children. They're not only passing on the joy of swimming, but also ensuring that vital messages of water safety continue to ripple through our community. Through shared resources and partnerships, these realities are possible. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. We're looking forward to another season of swimming at the pool. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Kelly. Certainly, the YWCA program is a very important part of our community, and we're pleased to see that it's such a success. And you probably noted already that sort of in partnership with the Township of Malahide, we have lifted the fees for joining the program, and Malahide has come forth with some money. So I think your program will even be more successful this year. So thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any questions? Deputy Mayor Barber.
Thank you. Just curious, on the people that took the life saving skills courses, do you see any recruits in
Excuse me, Deputy Mayor, I don't think your mic is on.
that may be potential lifeguards in the future?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for the question. Yeah, for sure. We see lots of our folks, as I mentioned, that kind of come up through, the swimming programs and then go on to the life-saving training that then become volunteers and then become lifeguards with the program. So this past summer, we were able to offer a national lifeguard recert as well as some of the courses that are required along the pathway to become that. So yes, yeah. It's, thank you.
Seeing nobody else, you have a resolution thing.
That the presentation from Kelly Coho, Director of Settlement and Wellness at the YWCA St. Thomas Elgin regarding the 2026 YWCA programming be received for information.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Chapman and Councillor Rahi. All those in favor? Is carried. Thank you. Next item, 5.2, Mr. Kadim Sonson regarding town maintenance and town snow removal equipment and policy. Mr. Sonson.
Good night. My name is Kareem. I'm a resident of Elmer County Town. My first question to the mayor, I see you're an elderly man. I assume some of the council members are elderly yourself. I mean, I just got out of a serious car accident. Normally, I don't mind removing snow. I do it for a living as well, so I don't mind it. But I live amongst people who are elderly, who have actual health concerns, who have heart conditions, who have strokes, that need EMS, fire, police to get to them if anything need be. In my eyes, I do my best to clear their driveway after your guys come out with your plow equipment and plow them back in. You guys hand out fines due to police if people park on the road due to people not being able to get onto their driveways. You guys have your police go around and ticket these people. We also hand out fines for not shoveling driveway, which I think is wrong because technically you guys own 2 or 3 feet up into my property line and the sidewalk and the road and the driveway that goes onto the road. You guys own that. You guys should be maintaining that because that is a part of your property line. That's not my property. That's not my responsibility. And when you guys incur me damage to my cars, having me have to come home incurring fines for parking on the road because I'm not able or I'm too tired to shovel out 3 feet of snow or 4 feet of snow that's put into my driveway, that is unfair. I don't think us, the town members, should have to pay or have to deal or have to be fined for your negligence to maintain the city, which is totally unfair. I assume you guys have your driveway cleaned out more than once a day. Right, that is not fair for me. I'm working 2 jobs in order to maintain my household, pay for my cars. I enjoy what I do, but you guys are hindering me at this point. You guys are hindering neighbors. The fact of the matter is, what happens next week if we have a snowstorm? One of my neighbors has a heart problem. They get a heart attack. How's EMS going to get to them? You ever tried lifting up one of the gurneys from the ambulance? That's not light. It's not easy to walk through deep snow, try to lift somebody over. I've done it myself. I do security. I've had to pull people out of cars. I've had to lift people to safety. Like, it's not easy. And you guys are going to catch a wrongful death suit if you guys don't step up and maintain the city. You guys are a corporation, as you guys still stated in the last meeting. If you're a corporation, I'm paying you guys for a service, and you guys are not performing the service. There's something due. You guys have to pay back or alleviate something. And if you guys don't have the manpower you guys claim to state all the time when I call in and be like, listen, do this. You guys, I don't have the manpower. You guys have the budget to subcontract it out. Why don't you guys do that? There's machinery that you guys can purchase to do these jobs. Other towns, other cities have these machineries. You guys say, oh, the last guy that was here, he talked about having a little sidewalk plow. I saw my sidewalk plow go by my street 9 days after snowfall. Like, that is kind of ridiculous. And you guys know, when you guys see these trucks coming, you guys are just like, after you guys clean out your driveway, you guys are ready to leave, and you guys get blocked in. You guys are getting late for work. You guys are causing yourself more grief, more back pain, right? More stress, because you have to be like, what am I going to come home to? Sometimes I work 18-hour days, and I come home, I don't have the energy to go shovel out the driveway, move 4 or 5 feet of snow out of my driveway. That's not what this town is for. You guys just wanted to expand. People see this and see you guys are being negligent towards people and your own taxpayers. That's kind of crazy. So I need you guys to step your stuff up, get the equipment you guys need. It's in the budget. Don't tell me as a consumer. I look at things from the outside. I'm a very logical and technical person. And I see this is just, you guys, it's a waste of money. Like, people's streets aren't being plowed. My street doesn't get plowed until 2 or 3 days later after snowfall. Like, when I do snow removal, my crew, my team, we're out, we're clearing. We have multiple dealerships that we clear. And we get those things done in days at a time, and we knock them out. I don't see why is it an issue to get the city done properly. So if you guys would like to tell me and explain to me where the money is going in this budget for snow removal that you guys claim to have, because I don't get salt on my street, I don't get salt on my roads, I don't get salt on the sidewalks, they're not plowed. I have pictures on my phone in front of an elderly house that has 4 feet of snow in front of it on the sidewalk. That is kind of ridiculous. What if those people die? Do you guys are willing to pay back the families for not having these guys get the medical care that they're about to lose out on because you guys want to save a few bucks here and there? Like, what is it? Everybody's quiet. Like, what is it? I know you guys live here. You guys are angry about this too as well. So what is it?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing what you're saying. Are you asking me a question?
I'm asking all you guys.
You're
You guys are
asking
the
everybody a
you guys are the
question?
council and the mayor and the deputy mayor. What is going on in this town that you guys cannot achieve or procure the equipment to maintain the city properly? Like, we the town citizens are paying for your mess, which is robbery, and the fact you have the police to come enforce your robbery is kind of ludicrous. So,
Okay.
let's tell me.
Okay. Council will have an opportunity to discuss this at some future meeting, I think.
Not the future.
At this point, all I'm going to say is, I mean, you're right in a lot of things. I mean, this is an important service for the town of Elmer, and we are always open to improvements for that service. Right now, at this point, following your presentations, we have no staff report on this today. So I think the way to move forward here, rather than have council just talk about all of the things that we don't do, all of the things we do badly, I think in order to move forward, I think we should ask staff for a report on how we can improve the situation dealing with snow removal. We don't have a report today, so council discussion is kind of discussing, guesses and discussing perhaps and discussing maybes. I'd like to see a staff report on it and not just a council B session on it. All right. So thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Sonson. It won't be forgotten. We've
May I say
taken
something?
notes. We will have staff look at this. And if council has any, I'll entertain a few questions. If council has any questions to improve what it is that we should be looking for, I will look at those questions. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're asking questions to Mr. Sonson first. No questions there. Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Sonson. We have a resolution.
That the delegation from Candide Sonson regarding town maintenance and town snow removal equipment and policy be received for information.
Mover and seconder, Councilor Derosier, Deputy Mayor Barber. All those in favor?
Excuse me, can we have some questions? Like, can we ask questions? You said.
We'll have an opportunity to ask questions as soon as we pass
Okay.
this. All those in favor? That's carried. All right, I will entertain a few questions just so that we have more information on this important part. But as I say, the resolution I'm looking for is for a staff report. Do you have a question, Councillor?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, first of all, Keaton, for coming in and speaking on behalf of this. I did address, I did bring this up with staff that I would have some questions, and I looked to maybe address some of these questions ahead of this meeting, and I was advised to bring them up at this meeting. So as much as I know you're trying to limit the questions, I think these are critical questions that would actually aid in the staff report. So I would like to ask, I have 4 here, I think, that are important.
Can we, are
so
we asking these as hypothetical questions?
No,
You're not
they're
really-
direct questions, and either staff can either answer or they can include this as part of their report, whatever works better.
Well,
But it would be beneficial to have this information be part of that report, so I do want to ask those questions now.
okay, I'll let you proceed.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. So the first issue that was raised to me mid-January, it's very similar to Keating's report, delegation, was that residents were reporting in certain areas sidewalks remained snow-covered 4 to 6 days following a snowfall. According to the municipal maintenance standards, the minimum requirement for a municipality is 1 pass within 24 hours. So my question to staff is, how does the municipality currently track which areas have been cleared to ensure that these standards are met? Do we have a GPS system, or what are we currently using to track this?
I think the question to staff is one staff member, and that's Terry is the one area, so I'll turn it over to Terry.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Through your worship to Councillor Desrosiers, the sidewalk units and all the plows do have GPS that tracks, and we can map exactly the routes they've been on, the time, where they deploying, salt, sand. All of those are tracked by GPS.
So follow-up question to that then.
Okay.
Are staff reviewing those logs to ensure that those areas have been completed, or how are there missing segments of the municipality that have gone, days without clearing, or how are we logging that?
It's important to qualify as well that there were municipally significant weather events declared, which the minimum maintenance standards do not apply in that situation. So, sorry, Terry can add to your further question.
Maybe I'll just add a bit to that. So I think we touched on this a bit at the last meeting. So I sent council just some information on our winter maintenance response policy and then also the minimum maintenance standards. So when the town issues a significant weather event, which is based on the Environmental Canada weather events that are issued, that classifies the roads in a state of repair. So that's the minimum maintenance standards don't start until the significant weather event ends, or even for that matter, after a snow event ends is when the clock starts. And I believe it's 48 hours for the sidewalks. And it depends on the priority ranking as well for the sidewalks, for the roadways. That being said, the staff are out as soon as they possibly can to address the priority roads first and then branch out from there. Then as soon as they can, another staff member is in the sidewalk unit taking care of the sidewalks as well. And those are based on the priority ranking for the sidewalks as well. So
Another question.
Thank you very much for that. So first to clarify, the significant weather event that we had on the 14th did end on the 16th, and there were sidewalks that weren't clear until the 20th. So that does go beyond the minimum maintenance standard, which is a lot of the concern that these residents did have. So a follow-up question to this would be, and maybe this could be part of the report, is we mentioned at the last meeting that there's a possibility of increasing our vehicle fleet to include an additional sidewalk tractor. Is that something that can be looked at and implemented before next winter season, or is that something that would take a while?
Jerry,
Through-
Randy?
Yeah, through you, just to note, I do recall that period as well, and there was a lot of blowing snow, I recall, during that period, so I wouldn't say, it's important, I think, for the public to understand that you have to go out once and do the sidewalks then, but if it's ongoing snow or there's blowing snow, it doesn't necessarily reset and mean you have to send them out immediately right after, and that's sometimes a bit of the issue with interpretation. But Terry can speak. He spoke a bit last council meeting about our ability to look at additional equipment, and I'll pass it off to Terry.
Yeah, I believe Councillor Rahi brought up a good point about that. Staff were already proactively looking at utilizing some of the DC funds. The thought was always that it would be required once we assumed some of the new subdivisions, like Willow Run, Cottonwood, that an additional sidewalk unit would be warranted. We would bring forth a business case at that time. We did notice that there are DC funds available right now in the existing DC study that can be utilized for a sidewalk unit. So we've already been proactively looking at the options, and that's why I was saying we're getting pricing and looking to bring forth that business case now. On the timing, these things do take time to either construct what we want or refurbish an existing unit, for instance. There is probably several months of lead time before you'd receive the unit. So it would be a stretch, honestly, to receive a second unit for this winter season. But again, we can look at what the timelines are when we're going forth with more of the pricing, and we can bring forward this business unit, as I said to Jason's point at the last meeting.
Are there any other members of council who have questions? Deputy Mayor Barber.
I'd like to thank the men and women of the Public Works Department for the excellent work that they have done in a testing year, above average snowfall. And I know that they've worked as hard as they could to maintain the streets and the sidewalks. We'd already talked about the regular procedure that after the end of the season, staff would see how the season went. Can we make any positive changes to move forward in a logical, affordable manner? And I'm sure that that will happen in a timely manner. Thank you.
I think at this point, I'd like to kind of say that I don't want this discussion turning into an interrogation of things past. I think what we need to do is show where we can improve. And you're making points. You know, Councilor Desrosiers is making points, and I'd rather than have those points directed as an interrogation, I'd rather have her just say, this is the areas that I'd like staff to look at, and you can list those areas. And Owen will take notes, and certainly the report that comes forward later on will be a chance for all council to interrogate, the statements in that report. And I kind of feel for Mr. Sonsom too, because I'm over 65, and I had to get out with a shovel and a sledgehammer to break the ice in the what did he call them, the windrows, and it was difficult. And if somebody had taped what I said, it wouldn't be very public, what I said. So, these are real issues that we're concerned with, and I say I empathize with you, but we're not going to solve them today. What I'd like to bring out, if you have any more issues that you'd like staff to look at, go ahead, Councilor Desrosiers, and first, Councilor Rahi.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I can't believe you're over 65. You only look 55. What I would be kind of curious to know is if, in the staff report, if we have to go with just a trackless machine, or if there was different options that we could go with, whether it's a small track skid steer that was narrow enough to travel on sidewalks, and/or a cab Kubota or subcompact tractor that we could do multiple things with, so we could use our trackless on the normal days and putting salt down, but then on the big events, that's when we pull out that secondary unit that is a multi-tool. It's nice when you can do lots of different stuff with equipment, and so that's one thing that I would like to add in. We have added lots of sidewalks to the town, and it may be time, if we get a staff report back, that it is time to add another piece of equipment, but maybe it's time to add a tool that we can pull out and we can use for multiple different things. So that's something that I would, excuse me, I'd kind of like to see in the report if that makes sense, so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor DeRosa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the last question. First of all, I apologize if my questions come off as interrogation, because that's certainly not the intent. I feel as elected representatives, we have a duty that when residents bring concerns to us, it's our job to advocate and bring those concerns forward to effectively change policy if necessary. So it's definitely not a matter of, questioning staff's capability or service levels. It's addressing concerns and doing so we can progress policy effectively. So that's the whole purpose of it. It's not an interrogation. But the final point that I do want on the record, and part of this report, I think it's important, is a concern that I've observed myself. I know Councillor Rahi has also discussed with me, is the sidewalks surrounding schools such as Harvey, Elk, and South Street. Again, were not cleared for several days, and even though they are listed as priority 1, they weren't taken care of. So, meanwhile, after I drop my son off and I go uptown to the gym, the sidewalks in the downtown core are clear. So while I understand that severe weather can cause delays and alter our routes, I believe personally that children are among the most vulnerable pedestrians. They do not have the same physical strength, coordination, or cognitive ability to navigate roadways safely, and that's exactly what they're doing when these sidewalks aren't clear, is they're walking on the road. And as a mother, it's disturbing to watch, and I know I had lots of other parents that brought this concern up to me. So the question that I have for staff, and hopefully we can address in the staff report, is that if we could revise our winter maintenance policy to ensure that school areas do hold the highest priority for snow clearing.
Okay, fair enough. Did you have a response, James?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think, staff have looked at that. I think there was one date when everybody was quite surprised that school was still in session and that they didn't close the schools. But in other jurisdictions, well, even here, the schools do have contractors to come on and clear parking lots. And in a lot of other municipalities, it's the school board's responsibility to maintain a higher standard of care for their sidewalks, if that's what they determine. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest that it's something that the municipality should assume when it would have us wasting significant time with equipment going from one place of town to another, putting the downtown kind of at a much lower priority, when there is actually a very easy method for parent councils or school board trustees to simply amend a contract for the one time. And this was a once every 40 years type snowfall. For them to up their contract and actually handle that would probably be far more cost effective and efficient than the municipality becoming involved.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, please let me comment.
I think you just opened a whole can of worms there, but.
Please let me comment to that,
We'll
please.
go with Councillor Rahi first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll keep it really simple, but I really disagree with what you just said, Mr. Griselle. And that's my opinion, but I disagree with that. So I think it's just as important, or it's more important to take care of kids than it is the businesses for a couple hours uptown. So I don't need to argue about it, but I do disagree with it. That's it.
Can we?
No, it isn't. It's the
can we-
town sidewalk, so it's not the school boards. But if that's how you feel, you're allowed to feel that way, and I'm allowed to feel the way that I want to. Thank you.
Okay, let's.
I'll be brief.
Let that be. It'll be. I'll come back to you. It'll be on the the report that comes in. Council may very well decide and say, we're going to pay for this and do this, right? It's up to council in terms of what you want to do. Your comments on this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for allowing this last comment. This shouldn't be an additional expense. It's already our policy that the sidewalks around the school are first priority, along with the downtown core. There shouldn't be increased expenses. School boards shouldn't have to be burdened to take on additional and PTAs. These are municipal sidewalks. We already have a policy that outlines that they are priority 1 or A, whatever the heck it is. It's not an unreasonable expectation for parents and for children to have those sidewalks clear as a priority. Thank you.
You're
And through
welcome.
you,
Yeah.
I think that
Through the chair, please. Miranda.
No, the challenge, though, is that our priority one still gives us a time period within the minimum maintenance standards. If you want a school cleared by 8 o'clock in the morning on every day when it snows, that is a significant amount of resources to do that and to prioritize it. There's already a snowing company that is attending that site to clear out their parking lots. That's the reason why I'm suggesting that it's much more logical.
It's shifting the downtown to the school zone. It's not unreasonable to ask.
I think we have the point on this, okay? I think we're willing to do the resources to do this, and we can make certain of that once we have a report. As I started out by saying, we are arguing about stuff that's not going to change today, but it certainly may change after we have a fuller report from staff on this. And I would like to move forward on did you put a motion together on this? I'm going to go to the motion.
That staff be directed to bring forward a report on snow removal policy, including windrows, expansion of equipment inventory, multiple equipment options, and priority clearing options related to schools, and other related matters.
Mover and seconder, Councillor DesRosiers, Councillor Chapman. I just want to end it by saying I'm not really cutting debate on this because I think if I let you talk, we'd talk here until 11 or 12 o'clock, right? You've all made your points, and I thank Mr. Sanson for coming down here today and making this a point. And certainly when the report comes back from staff, we will make certain that we get what we want. All right, thank you. So, no further discussion. All those in favor there? And that is carried. Thank you. Item 6, consent agenda. Resolution.
That the February 18th, 2026 consent agenda be received for information, and that the included recommendations within the staff reports be adopted, and that council approves the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on February 4th, 2026.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Chapman, Councillor Oslach. Anyone want to talk to any of those items? Councillor Chapman.
Item 6.1.1, I just want to thank our legislative services for all of the hard work that they've done to continually improve our services to our community and make accessibility to our services much simpler.
Certainly ditto. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. If you haven't really looked at it, take a look at all the items that were accomplished. Anyone else? Councillor DesRosiers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to 6.1.3, since this policy was introduced in May of, I believe it was 2024, I've been openly opposed to these non-resident fees and been more advocating towards the diplomacy. So I just wanted to state that I'm quite pleased to see that we've actually implemented this and that we've come to this conclusion, and we're moving forward with summer programming that truly is accessible to all. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor? As carried, thank you. Item 7, action item 7.1, managers of operation, the Elmer Water Distribution System resolution.
That report, Operations 02-26, entitled 2025 Elmer Water Distribution System Annual and Summary Reports be received for information, and that council receives the annual summary report for the Elmer distribution system for the year of 2025 as required by Ontario Regulation 17003, Schedule 22, and that council receives the Elmer distribution system annual report for the year of 2025 as required by Ontario Regulation 17003, Section 11.
Moving seconder, Councilor Osley, Councilor Chapman. Terry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, this is an annual water report that's required to be submitted to the ministry. It's required to be submitted as Schedule 11 and 22 reports. These are the summary and distribution system reports respectively. Our water operations staff do an excellent job, including our manager of operations, Jesse Thompson. The distribution report outlines the summary of external audit that was conducted and no major or minor nonconformities were identified. Water flows in the summary report were in line with average flows from previous years. Some of the technical information is a bit of a dry read, but if council has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Council? Questions or comments? Great report, Terry. Councilor Rosie.
I just wanted to comment, it is quite a dry read, but very well done. Thank you.
Right. That's very well done. Thank you. All those in favor of the resolution, and it's carried. Thank you. Item 7.2, Manager of Operation Resolution.
That report Operations 03-26 entitled DWQMS Annual Review 2025 be received for information. That's all.
Okay. Mover and seconder, Deputy Mayor Barber and Councilor Chapman. Terry.
Thank you. Through you, this is another annual report required for our DWQMS policy now. That's the Drinking Water Quality Management System, if you're wondering what DWQMS stands for. There are 21 elements included in the DWQMS. This report relates to element 20, which is the annual management review that needs to be done each year. The review covers any incidents of nonconformance, audit results, and many other items. The review is conducted with myself, the CAO, and the manager of operations, who is also the DWQMS representative. This report satisfies the annual requirement, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have on the report.
Council? Seeing none, all those in favor? As carried, thank you. 7.3, Manager of Operations Infrastructure Review Resolution.
That report Operations 04-26 entitled DWQMS Infrastructure Review 2025 be received for information.
Mover and seconder, Councilor Chapman, Councilor Oslech. Terry.
Thank you. Through you, this is yet another annual report required for our DWQMS. This report relates to element 14, which is the infrastructure review, so it's a bit not as dry of a read, I would consider. This is completed to ensure water maintenance and infrastructure projects are planned accordingly to maintain our system in good repair. The town has been quite proactive in funding and completing water projects, such as the new water tower, the Elk Street water main replacement, Dingle Street water main repair, SCADA implementation. So the town has been quite proactive with funding and in completing some of these large capital projects. Staff will continue to plan the water main projects in the capital plan and perform maintenance activities where necessary. I'd be happy to answer any questions council might have.
Thank you, Terry. You just did the mayor's breakfast report. Thank you. Council? Deputy Mayor Barber.
Thank you. Quick question to Terry. Have you been able to link the SCADA system with Ontario Clean Water?
Through the mayor to Deputy Mayor Barber, that's an excellent question. Yes, we have. There was a little bit of hiccups there with the initial linking, but we're all linked up from the EMPS pumps in St. Thomas to the regional water supply, to our new tower, and also to the Malahide system. So there's a lot of moving parts with that SCADA, but it's all linked and fully operational.
Councilor DeRosier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just through you to Terry, reviewing our infrastructure, are there any significant risks that we should be kind of planning for the next 5 to 10 years, or is everything looking hunky-dory?
Through Through the mayor to Councillor DeRozier, we do have certain risks identified in the asset management plan based on different values and risk ratings for the material type of water mains, the age, things like that. So that all comes into account with our 10-year capital planning. So any of the critical infrastructure that needs replacing is on that 10-year capital plan. One that comes to mind is the Talbot Street water main. That one is separate from a road reconstruction works. That's a standalone water main replacement that needs to be done because it's a critical part of town. And so that's just one example, but we definitely look at all those risk ratings and do the capital plan accordingly.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor? Is carried. Thank you. 7.4, Director of Infrastructure and Operations, resolution.
That report Plan 05-26 be received by the Council of the Town of Elmer regarding development activity biannual update for 2025 for information purposes.
Mover and seconder, Councilor Rosier, Councilor Chapman. I think first we're going to have a video.
Yes.
All right.
Laid plans of mice and men.
I swear there's more development than that.
Through the mayor to Terry, I don't think the video will work, so if you want to deliver the report.
Okay, through your worship, to council. We did have a video prepared, and thanks goes to Chelsea and Roxanne, our development technician. They put together a full video that basically echoes what's in the development update report. So hopefully council gets a chance to look at that. I'm sure we'll have it posted. I don't think it likes to be linked between the computers and then our sound system. But maybe I could just give a brief report. I was kind of hoping that could be played because it's a really good video. But basically, development is going quite well in the town. We've issued 92 total permits in the second half of 2025, which is right in line with the first half of 2025, so it was quite a busy year. There were 5 industrial permits issued, 9 commercial permits issued, 5 institutional, and 70 residential. Willow Run continues to be the busiest development with 27 total permits. On the other end of town, Centennial Estates grew with 10 single-family dwelling permits, and also Centennial Estates grew with 5 or 6 permits, which is in the report. So it was quite a busy year, a busy second half to the year. We also saw some different commercial development going on with 47 Aim Park Way, which is Southwest Color Plus. That site plan was finalized. 123 White Street, or 123 White Street, is a Stubby's concrete ready-mix plant, so that site has fully developed. That's phase 1 of the site. 25 Progress Drive, phase 2 of the restaurant is now complete, which included a Stacked and a Mary Brown's Chicken. And also the Wendy's at 555 John Street North has recently opened, which was another site plan that's been finalized. And I should mention 657 John Street North, which will be a new Shoppers Drug Mart, which is quite a large commercial addition, is also well underway. So on that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that council might have, but it's been a successful development year for 2025, and we're continuing to look forward to 2026.
Thank you, Terry. Council? Comments or questions? Seeing none? It's too bad we don't see the video, but we'll look for it on social media, right? And on the town website as well, I guess it'll be there, right? Will it?
Yes.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
At the very least, we can share the link with council, and then I'm sure we'll get it up on the website for residents to view.
Okay, that's great, thanks. Councilor Wright?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Terry, are we over average at 92? Like, is this like a way over average, or are we kind of like, I'm just kind of curious what, like, historically we do normally issue for permits?
Through your worship to Councillor Rahi, it's the same as the first half of 2025, but comparing previous years, it's quite a bit more than Elmer was used to seeing, so. Yeah, we have double the building permit value that was budgeted. So in answer, it was the same that we saw in the beginning half of 2025 or even the latter half of 2024, but compared to previous years, it's quite a bit higher and more development activity.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor, is carried. Item 7.5, Director of Infrastructure, tender award, resolution.
That report, Operation 05-26, entitled Tender Award Town Hall Exterior Renovations, be received from information, and that the tender submitted by Dream Living Construction Incorporated in the amount of $348,500, excluding HST, be accepted, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the agreement with Dream Living Construction Incorporated following the terms and conditions in the tender documents.
Mover seconder, Deputy Mayor Barber, Councilor Chapman. And who's doing this one? Terry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, this report relates to the Town Hall exterior renovation project. Council has received several reports relating to this project, and the project has been strategically scoped and tendered at this point. The project includes, it's first of all a very critical project, as we can see in the background. It's our part of our town logo. So it includes the brickwork on the exterior, mainly the third floor area, third floor windows, the sloped metal roof on the clock tower, one of the flat roof membranes, some slate roof repairs, replacement of the gutter and downspouts, and some other cosmetic exterior works. As you can see from some of the pictures that I've included of the interior of the third floor, I'm not sure that council's seen those, that there is some water damage, and it's looking quite tired up there, and this building houses the majority of our staff, so this is quite a critical project for us. We're happy that it's been tendered. We received 12 bids on the tender and very favorable pricing. The final project amount is $446,000, which is under the budgeted amount for the work that was previously estimated in some of the reports. Staff and the design team extensively checked the low bidder's bid submission, the documents, and all references provided, and found nothing that would warrant a bid disqualification. The project represents good value, and staff would recommend proceeding with the contract.
Thank you, Terry. Deputy Mayor Barber.
Thank you to Terry. Would you just like to touch on the spread of the prices and how they get to be that way from roughly $350,000 and then number 11 at $780 roughly, and then the top guy at $1.2 million. What causes that spread?
Through your worship to Deputy Mayor Barber, that's a good question. That's a tough one to answer. I think some of the 11, 12 bidders there are hoping that maybe they might be one of the oldie bidders and that someone might get disqualified at that point. Because as you can see, the several top bidders there are all within a certain range and quite competitive pricing. Mm-hmm. So I think some bidders throw in a high number hoping that by chance they might be the only bidder and buy a job that way. But I tend to look at only, the lowest half of the bidders, and you can tell it's quite competitive pricing there, that those bidders were really trying to sharpen their pencils and bid very accurately on the specifications provided. All I can say is that we put together very good tender packages and make it quite explicit what bidders need to price. And that really eliminates some of the unknowns on the tender, and that's generally why we see very good tender results.
Do you think we got another advantage of getting out early?
Through your worship to Deputy Mayor Barber, absolutely. This was strategically tendered at a certain time and for a certain duration. We had quite a long tendering period where we could answer all the questions that may come up. We had a on-site bidder meeting that was mandatory, so that all bidders had to be on the site, ask questions at that time. All of that goes into the whole tendering process, kind of behind the scenes. But it was definitely put out at a strategic time for a strategic time frame to try to get the best pricing we could and try to get good bidders.
Councillor Rai.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Terry, good work to everybody, all the staff that got this out in time and got that price. I mean, like you said, I'm sure the number 12, he or she isn't hungry for work right now. But my question is there is that contingency plan in there, but when getting into old buildings, if you happen to get into a mess of stuff, especially where there is water damage, what happens when they go to replace the windows, but there is deeper work that needs to happen? Do we use the contingency money to then pay for that, and then the bid kind of changes, or how does that how does that work if they happen to get into into something and it is a deeper scope of work than everyone believed from the beginning?
Through your worship to Councillor Rahi, that's a great question. A lot of the specifications of what they're bidding, so specifically the windows, will have certain details we've provided that in case there is some rotted wood around that they need to replace that with blocking or different sealants, caulking, that kind of thing. So it is covered in a lot of specifications, but that is what the contingency would be for. If we find any unknowns, that we would be able to work with the design engineer as well to come up with a solution, use a contingency and issue change orders at that point to rectify any of those issues. Because unfortunately, until you open up some of these projects, whether it be a road job or building works, sometimes you don't really see until you open it up. So the contingency would cover any of that, and we would go through a whole change order process at that point.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me. Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor, and that is carried. Item 7.6, CAO legislation update resolution.
That report CAO 08-26 entitled Legislation Update, Water and Wastewater Public Corporations Act be received for information, and that council endorse the attached mayor's letter for distribution to the Honorable Minister of Municipal Affairs and Chief Administrative Officer of Elgin County.
Mover and seconder, Deputy Mayor Barber, Councillor Chapman. Andy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So in November, legislative changes occurred that now allow the Minister of Municipal Affairs to transfer municipalities' water or sewer assets to a public corporation. If this occurs, there's no ability for the municipality to appeal or oppose that decision. There is a potential that the province could move in this direction. As council's aware, over the last several years, the province has kind of put historic amounts of funding into water and wastewater. So we've been certainly the recipient of some large funds here in Elmer, but there is a theory in principle that these systems should simply be user-funded, which is how we deal with them on the tax base as well. So the province has been involved in supporting these to meet a goal of increasing housing supply, essentially. And there is a potential that they could step back from that and either phase it out, or it could be gone entirely. And one of the advantages of the public corporation is once that's done, these projects could still go ahead with debt issuance, but the debt issuance wouldn't impact the municipality's debt capacity. So for a lot of smaller municipalities, that would be an issue. So for a lot of municipalities, this legislation could very well be a good thing for them because it would allow them to still undertake big projects. But the other issue with it that relates directly to Elmer is that if we are amalgamated into a larger system, there's impacts of that. So this legislation could benefit some places, even those in in Elgin County. So, for instance, Central Elgin getting legislated to be in St. Thomas for wastewater would certainly benefit Central Elgin in some sense. So the province might come in and issue orders like that. But if we're grouped into a new corporation that has that purview, we're not really getting a direct benefit in Elmer. And one of the reasons for that is because our waste treatment lagoon is so removed and will likely never, ever be connected to another system. The cost of running pipe and pumping sewage uphill all the way to St. Thomas would be astronomical, so it will always make more sense for Elmer's system to be a standalone system and for us to build on it to suit the OPC or our agreements with Springfield. So that's one of the things is this letter seeks to kind of establish that we're concerned that we don't want to get amalgamated into a larger entity. Doing so would have a lot of duplication of professionals. It would have a lot more unnecessary red tape and bureaucracy involved. We'd lose a lot of local responsiveness, and certainly we've got Terry and his team who are just managing the lagoon and the water system in a terrific way. So there would be no net benefit to our community really immediately, but we'd expect the cost of operating that system to go up significantly and the timelines for getting out tenders to go up significantly as well. The water line is a little bit different because the primary water board, as the deputy mayor knows, operates very much like a public corporation already, although it isn't. If the primary board changed, that would be something that I don't think Elmer would have a lot of input on. If they did change the legislation to impact the secondary line, right in this piece of legislation, it states that assets should be divvied up on shareholder basis. So since Elmer was responsible for 96% of the construction of that secondary line and has that amount of allocations, we'd expect that the shareholders would be that much to Elmer if they do change it. So we'd receive that many shares in that corporation, but we don't know if they're intending to do that. Worst case scenario, the province could create two separate public corporations, one for water, one for wastewater, and we could be absorbed in much larger areas that don't really have Elmer's interest in mind. So the intent of this is to simply be proactive, just to let the county CAO, who's kind of talking with the ministry about this, and as well as the Minister of Municipal Affairs, know about Elmer's concerns. And certainly none of this is to suggest that it might not be an ideal option for other areas of the county. It just doesn't really work for Elmer. And with that, I'll try to answer any of your questions.
Questions? Councillor Trouillet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Firstly, just to clarify, I agree with the position that our municipality has taken, but I would have like to offer some constructive feedback on the letter itself. Just reviewing it as currently drafted, the letter ends firmly on our position, but it doesn't leave space for continued dialogue. And given that this correspondence is directed to a minister as well as Elgin County, I think it's important that we conclude in a way that reinforces Elmer's commitment to collaboration and communication.
Certainly, we can do that. We'll add a paragraph dealing with that particular point. That's good. Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor? As carried. Thank you. 7.7, one-year extension insurance provider resolution.
That report, CAO 10-26, entitled One-Year Extension Insurance Provider, be received for information, and that council authorize an exemption to the procurement policy to allow the town to continue to procure insurance from Marsh Canada Limited for the period of May 1st, 2026 to April 30th, 2027.
Mover and seconder, Deputy Mayor Barber and Councillor Ozlech. who's doing the report?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just very briefly, we did go out to market previously for insurance provider in 2021 to 2022. And so we have been out to market recently. There's two major municipal insurers. It's kind of you can get multiple brokerages, but there's really only two insurers in the game, and they don't differ significantly. But previously, we went out because there was concern at the time about significant year-over-year increases. And we did actually avoid a lot of increases when we did that. Right now, we're suggesting simply a one-year extension because we are kind of getting to a point in our EECC negotiations where we're scheduling a meeting to try to bring forward a new potential governance agreement to both councils in the near future. And one of the potential changes could be that after this year, that facility may no longer be covered under our insurance flyer. So we didn't want to switch insurers and then enter into a policy for a 3 or 4 year term and then try to remove what is a very unique area of risk from that policy afterwards. So through that, you will try to answer any questions.
Council? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution, carried. Thank you. Item 7.8, Director of Legislative Services. I guess this one deals with the appointment to the Elmer Police Service Board. Resolution.
That report, Clerk 08-26, entitled Appointment Bylaw Update, be received for information, and that council accepts the letter of resignation from the Elmer Police Services Board from Councillor Barber, and that council approves the amendments as outlined, appointing Councillor Chapman to the Elmer Police Services Board, and that council directs staff to proceed with bringing forward an appointment bylaw following the submission of necessary documentation.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Oslach and Deputy Mayor Barber. Okay, I don't think there's anything more to report other than just the resolution states it very clearly.
Yes.
Any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, all those in favor? As carried, thank you. Item 8, new business and matters of urgency. Seeing none, reading of bylaws and proceedings thereon.
That council gives 3 readings to and approves bylaw 15-26, being a bylaw to authorize the signing of an agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Elmer and the Town of Elmer Public Works Association for 2026 to 2029. Bylaw 19-26, being a bylaw to authorize the signing of an agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Elmer and Simcoe Refrigeration for the supply and installation of rooftop HVAC packaged and thermal units Phase 2. Bylaw 20-26, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council held at the regular meeting on February 4th, 2026. And bylaw 21-26, being a bylaw to authorize the signing of an agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Elmer and Dream Living Construction Limited for town hall exterior renovations.
Mover and seconder, Councillor Chapman and Councillor Riley. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? As carried, thank you. Item, where are we? I think we're at inquiries by members. No inquiries, okay, good. Statements and committee reports. Seeing none. Item 12, report of the mayor. Just a few little items I wanted to report on. First of all, on February the 25th, which is 1 week from today, there is a special forum of the Community Safety and Well-Being Committee. All councilors are invited. It's held at the old arena in St. Thomas. It's a great place to find out what many service agencies are doing in Elgin and to forge a path forward, I guess, is what we're looking at. I'd like to also state that as of today, the pledges have amounted to $402,000. I'll repeat that, $402,000, which is a lightning speed of pledges. And I do want to comment on one thing. maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway because the press will love me, so I'm going to count on it. I noticed that and this was commented on, I think, at the last EECC meeting, that, a bunch of old people could die, and therefore the pledges wouldn't be accurate or wouldn't be forthcoming, but they would be. It's a contract between the person and the town, so regardless of death, the pledges would hold. And maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm wrong, and you'll tell me if I'm wrong, please. Not now, but later. When you look at the posts that come out on the social media about this particular thing, it's almost as if it's a slap at old people. That old people are kind of, they're the old people that are giving the pledges, and they could die before the pledges come forward. But maybe that's just paranoia on my part, but I just wanted to mention that anyway. I think that's just a, kind of silly and misleading kind of comment to make, but then there's so many of them on social media. Anyway, thank you for listening for me. Item 13, notice of motion. Any notices of motion? Deputy Mayor Barber.
Thank you, Your Worship. Whereas Central Oregon has introduced a pilot program to allow residents to access the St. Thomas YMCA pool and programming at a subsidized cost, and whereas the established 2026 budget for Central Oregon for YMCA access is $15,000, and whereas the YMCA agreement established with Central Oregon is based on actual pool and program utilization by the residents as an invoice on a monthly basis, and whereas the YMCA agreement established with Central Oregon has blackout dates for summer programming, and as a result is not anticipated to conflict with the town of Elmer Pool, and whereas expanding access to recreational opportunities represents a strategic priority for the town of Elmer and is important for the health and well-being of the residents. Therefore, be it resolved that staff be directed to present a report with details on entering into an agreement with the St. Thomas YMCA for subsidized access for Elmer residents with the intent and immediate implementation, and that council approve up to $15,000 in funding for this program in 2026 to be allocated from the council initiatives reserve.
Okay, thank you. Do you intend that to be at the next council meeting?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other notices of motion? Councilor DeRosier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whereas recent engagement with community support organizations has identified gaps in communication, coordination, and accessibility of social health services across East Elgin, and whereas increasing demand for community supports highlights the need for a more collaborative, regional approach to social health challenges, including housing insecurity, food access, and mental health services. And whereas coordination among municipalities, community organization, and residents is essential to ensure services are effective, accessible, and responsive to community needs. Therefore, be it resolved that council directs staff to explore the establishment of a subcommittee as an advisory body to support collaboration and coordination among municipal and community service partners, and further that staff review a proposed committee plan and report back to council with suggestions and recommendations for council's consideration.
Thank you. And you would list that at the next council meeting? Okay, thank you. Anyone else? See. Meeting closed to the public, resolution.
That council enters a meeting closed to the public at 8:12 PM to discuss the following: Chief Administrative Officer Report, CAO 09, land acquisition, and that consideration of this item is closed to the public pursuant to Section 239(2)(c) of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended, as the subject matter pertains to C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board.
Mover and seconder, Councilor Rosier, Councilor Rahi. All those in favor? It's carried. There will be a brief recess. We'll meet in the conference room. Back, we have a resolution coming out of session.
That council rise from the meeting closed to the public at 8:27 PM and reports the following. That council received report CAO 9-26 regarding land acquisition for information, and that council provided confidential direction to the CAO regarding the report.
Mover and seconder, Deputy Mayor Barbara, Councilor DeRosier. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Resolution to adjourn.
That council do now adjourn at 8:28 PM.
Mover and seconder, Councilor Chapman and Councilor DeRosier. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's carried.